A very good evening to you. Welcome to Friday Night Live. My name is Olive Burrows, sitting in for Lillian Muli. We dispense with the usual formalities and get right to things, as there is a fire at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. It is right here to my right. This is the field adjacent to the runway. Just looking at those pictures, you can see that fire services are on site. We wait for a statement from the Kenya Airports Authority, but there you have it, a plane coming into land as a fire blazes adjacent alongside the runway. Those fields are at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. We have our cameraman Eric Sinta on site. Those pictures are live, and we have seen images of fire services making their way to the scene, to the site, in efforts to put out the fire. The cause of the fire is yet to be established, but we do expect at any moment a statement from the Kenya Airports Authority. If you're just joining us, this is breaking news. There is a fire at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. That is the field alongside the runway. We've just seen a plane come in to land, and we've also seen fire services, the blue and the red and the white lights of fire services making their way there, and in an effort to put out the fire. Those pictures being brought to us by our cameraman Eric Isinta, and you can see the fire quite clearly from the eastern bypass, and it is concentrated on the fields of the airport adjacent to the runway. The cause of the fire is yet to be established, but we do expect a statement from the Kenya Airports Authority at any moment now. As you can see from those pictures, their emergency crews have made their way there. That is the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. That fire is clearly visible from the eastern bypass, and it is on the fields adjacent to the runway. We did see a plane come in to land as that fire rages. The cause of the fire is yet to be established, as we have not yet received a statement from the Kenya Airports Authority or the Ministry of Transport. We expect one soon to elaborate on what caused the fire and what is being done to contain it. But as you can see there are emergency crews on site. Our cameraman Eric Isinta is there to capture the story as it develops. There you see a plane coming in for landing as the fire rages. That is the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. All right, we continue to keep an eye on that story as it develops. As I mentioned, Eric Jacinta is on site. But we get to take a look now at what else we have in store for you on Friday Night Live. Take a look at the highlights.
The nation is obviously aware by now. Last night, we were unlucky to have lost the former chairman of IEBC, Wafula Wanyonyi Chebukati.
End of an era. Former IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati passes away Thursday night at Nairobi Hospital.
Stop advertising what we should do, we will do, we have done, and rather put yourself to get people, resources, experts.
Kuita serikali kama advertising agency ni kupotosha wananchi.
Work, not talk. Muheria tells government to end rhetoric and take action. Ruto allies fire back, accusing Muheria of misleading Kenyans.
Mambo ya vetting ambayo watu wa Kilifi hii walikuwa wanahangaishwa nayo na Wakenya wengine tumefutilia mbali.
Unapologetic. Ruto defends decision to end ID vetting for border communities amid mounting criticism. Tragic end to month-long search. Elvis Munene, City Hall intern missing since January, found dead. If you're just joining us, there is a fire at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. It is now clearly visible from the road. It has been visible from the eastern bypass. We have seen fire trucks and emergency services make their way there. There is yet to be a statement released by the Kenya Airports Authority or the Ministry of Transport on the cause of the fire, but we have seen planes come in for landing. We wait to see how the story develops. Our reporter Eric Jacinta is on scene and will give us updates as the situation develops. Now, President William Ruto is among leaders who heaped praises on former Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission chairperson Wafula Chebukati, who passed away on Thursday night at the Nairobi Hospital after battling a long illness. The president eulogized the former electoral body boss as a principled and diligent leader. As you'll hear now from Emmanuel To, the family has requested privacy as they mourn their loved one.
They arrived at the Lee Funeral Home following the departure of their loved one, former
I'm nothing but a truth, so help me God.
IEBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati, who passed on Thursday night. The family spokesperson saying Chebukati died at the Nairobi Hospital, aged 63.
He had been unwell and he was in hospital. He passed on just about 11 last night. So once the family has made a decision on whether they want to undertake a postmortem, and once the family has also had time to talk to the doctors, then we'll be able to explain to the nation what may have caused his death.
The family saying it has already commenced funeral arrangements.
We are all saddened with the loss, and as the family comes to terms with the loss, we are all asking everybody, including the press, the media, everybody running the social forums, please kindly allow the family some privacy.
Back in his village, the somber mood was visible as emotions ran high. The residents of Kapamboi village, Kwanza constituency in Trans Nzoia County, pouring glowing tributes to a neighbor.
Maana wakati kama imefika usikia kwake kwamba ni mgonjwa, tumeshasikia yeye anagonjeka.
Mawazo yake ilikuwa kwamba ajenge shule ya upili hapo na maji ya jamii, na pia akawa akiongelea sana mambo ya maendeleo ya kijiji chetu.
Nilimsikia kwanza sana alivuma wakati wa kura iliyopita ya 2022. Hapo ndio nilipata kumjua.
Online, President William Ruto was among leaders who praised Chebukati, lauding him for being a principled and diligent leader, especially in the hotly contested 2022 general polls. DP Kindiki eulogized Chebukati as a courageous and stoic leader, praising his conduct of the 2022 general election. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta condoled with the Chebukati family, describing the departed former IEBC chairman as a resilient person who navigated intricate challenges even as he shaped the country's electoral landscape. Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi condoled with the family of Chebukati, saying the former IEBC chairman left a mark as an inspiration for justice. The Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, saying Chebukati was courageous in his duty at the helm of IEBC. Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka wished the family of Chebukati strength as it deals with the loss. Emmanuel Toh, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
At 63, senior lawyer Wafula Chebukati may have achieved one of the highest crowns for a Kenyan lawyer, beating all odds to midwife democracy into highly contested national elections. He came close to throwing in the towel barely a year into the job, having to read the Riot Act against two of the most divisive political figures in 2017. However, the 2022 presidential election will remain the most important for Chebukati's career, whose outcome thrust William Ruto to the presidency. In Ruto's eyes, Chebukati was the hero of that election, but to the Raila Odinga-led opposition, he may well be the worst thing that ever happened to Odinga's political career. Sam Gituku looks back at the path Chebukati walked, managing to ride the storm to become the first ever chair of the Kenyan Electoral Commission to successfully complete his term.
And we finished the term, three of us, Professor Gulia and Molu, they are in the room, and we feel we have done our best for the country.
When on the 17th of January 2023, Chebukati stood before President William Ruto, that statement of completing a 6-year term had deeper meaning than the words in it. Here was a man taking pride for withstanding numerous obstacles that had been planted in his way from the day he expressed his interest in the position of IEBC chairperson up until the day he eventually called it a day.
Shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Different accounts indicate he may not have been the best candidate from the interviews, but that didn't stop President Uhuru Kenyatta from picking him back in January 2017.
So I'm not here as a job seeker. I'm here to serve my country. When I applied for this job, I did not talk to anyone and nobody talked to me, even when I was shortlisted.
A man who had practiced law for over 3 decades now faced the headache of managing a high-stake general election with less than 7 months to plan. Chebukati came to office during drastic reforms to the management of the elections and presidential election results that were heavily built on the foundation of technology. 7 months later, an election he midwifed was nullified for failing in the test of integrity in the process, becoming the first presidential election returning officer in Africa to suffer that fate.
That the presidential election held on 8th August 2017 was not conducted in accordance with the Constitution and the applicable law, rendering the declared results invalid, null, and void.
It was the first major test for Chebukati, who immediately swung into action to establish what had caused the legal gaps. The political pressure was too high, forcing him to push aside his then Chief Executive Officer, Ezra Chiloba, during the repeat presidential election of 26th of October 2017. Even though the election petitioner Raila Odinga deserted the repeat election, Chebukati proceeded with the poll, returning a 98% vote for Uhuru Kenyatta. By this time, Chebukati had lost his most trusted commissioner, Roslyn Akombe, who resigned while on transit to the United States in what had been expected an official trip to monitor the printing of presidential ballot papers in Dubai. It is then that Chebukati was forced to read the riot act to President Kenyatta and candidate Raila Odinga.
As the referee, I want to issue a stern warning to the players of this game on all sides that they should stop all attempts to interfere with the process. The failure to do this will result in consequences, as I've made up my mind to uphold the Constitution and the will of the people of Kenya, regardless of threats, intimidation and pressure.
Chebukati's leadership style was heavily tested when in April 2018, 3 other commissioners, Consolat Ankada, Paul Kurgat, and Margaret Mochanya resigned, accusing him of chasing individual glory.
Given this severe deterioration of confidence in the Commission chair, we find our position as commissioners under his leadership no longer tenable.
They opposed the audit of the procurement for elections, and they didn't want us to ask the CEO any questions.
For 3 years, Chebukati led a half-constituted commission, his calls for declaration of vacancies and subsequent recruitment going ignored. And when Parliament eventually amended the IEBC law, paving way for recruitment of 4 new commissioners, Chebukati and team had gone to the depth of preparing for the 2022 general election. Commissioners Juliana Cherera, Irene Masit, Justus Nyang'aya, and Francis Wanderi were sworn in September 2021, 11 months to the polls. It is in those months to the election that Chebukati's leadership style was again put to the test. The 4 would later appear to have formed a camp of newcomers, while Chebukati is stuck with the 2 now veteran commissioners. And the end was ugly. On the afternoon of August 15, 2022, Chebukati led a divided boardroom to the final stretch of the presidential election.
The 4 of us, we are here, not at Bomas of Kenya, where the result is going to be announced, because of the opaque nature of how this phase has been handled.
Chebukati would later claim in an affidavit to the Supreme Court that the National Security Advisory Council had been sent to the Bomas of Kenya to alter the electoral outcome.
They said we should consider declaring the Azimio presidential candidate as the winner, and in the worst case scenario, we look at a way of moderating results so that there's a runoff.
Chebukati's first attempt to declare the election outcome failed. The second attempt featured the presence of then Deputy President William Ruto, the winner in the presidential election. For the months and years following, August 15 remained the day of reckoning for both Ruto and Chebukati.
If Chebukati were to tell you the kind of hell he went through, yeah? If the day the story of August 15th will be told in Kenya, yeah? You will know why I am delaying.
It was no surprise that on the day Chebukati, Molu and Gulia eventually left office, their reflections were trailed on the day.
The Commission wrote to the President of the Republic of Kenya requesting for a public inquiry in respect of the process leading to the declaration of the final results at the Bomas of Kenya.
And it kept getting worse with the claims.
There was a direct attempt to abduct Wafula Chebukati and murder him so that the commission would be paralyzed, or a compliant commissioner take over and subvert the people's sovereignty.
Chebukati spent the months after leaving office presenting conference papers, addressing symposia and seminars globally, calling for independence of electoral bodies in the wake of charged political contests and unrelenting state interferences in outcomes of democratic processes.
As election managers, what do you do under that stress? What are you expected to do? And my answer is very simple. Fidelity to the law, follow the Constitution.
Chebukati will also be remembered for several unanswered questions including the killing of electoral officials, among them senior ICT official Chris Msando, murdered weeks to the August 2017 election, Embakasi East constituency returning officer Daniel Musyoka, killed within the August 2022 election. As to his legacy, the jury is still out. What's not in doubt is that he stood firm against government interference in an election, which some now accuse him of siding with the alternative candidate.
I exceed a very contented man, and I say we gave it our best.
And I want to say Chebukati is the hero of this election.
Sam Gituko, Citizen TV.
Raila Odinga has released a statement in regard to Wafula Chebukati's death, and it reads, "To the family of Mr. Wafula Chebukati, who passed on earlier today, I pass my condolences and sympathy for the loss of a son, father, husband, and a breadwinner. Times like these are never easy, and no amount of words and assurances of solidarity can ever fill the void left, but that is all we can offer. My thoughts are with the entire family, the widow, Mama Mary, sons Jonathan and Emmanuel, at this difficult time." It is worth noting that he passed away, according to the family spokesman, at 11 p.m. last night. Now, if you're just joining us, we're keeping an eye on the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, where there is a fire on the fields alongside the runway or adjacent to the runway. We have seen fire services on site, and we expect a statement any time now from the Kenya Airports Authority and the Ministry of Transport on the cause of the fire, which is yet to be established. We have seen planes come in for landing. It is clearly visible from the eastern bypass. In fact, just along the road, you can see that fire burning. So those images are being brought to us by Eric Jacinta, who is covering that fire at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Nyeri Archdiocese Archbishop Anthony Muheria is calling on the government to tone down the rhetoric and fulfill promises made to Kenyans over 2 years ago, instead of making new ones without delivering on the old. His comments have drawn criticism from top officials, but Muheria insists President William Ruto should take a more unifying approach and engage in dialogue with his critics to move the country forward. As Kamau Mwangi reports, the Archbishop is calling for less talk and more action.
Less than 72 hours before President William Ruto's third developmental tour this year, this time to the coastal region, following visits to western and northeastern Kenya, critics are already questioning his motives. They accuse him of repeatedly making grand promises with little to show for what his administration pledged to deliver 2 years ago. Nyeri Archdiocese Archbishop Anthony Muheria has called on the government to fulfill its campaign promises, questioning the sincerity of pledges made from atop sunroofs amid the resurgence of high-octane politics.
Government seems to be constrained to advertisement of government projects, advertisements of plans. Government is not an advertising agency. It is an agency that implements actions. That's what we want to see.
The cleric urging the head of state to start delivering on promises made since taking office, expressing concern that development may be sidelined as the Kenya Kwanza administration appears more focused on countering critics than on fulfilling its agenda.
We have to move from advertisement to government. Stop advertising what we should do, we will do, we have done, and rather put yourself to get people, resources, experts, And we have great capacity even in our leadership in government that they can deliver.
His remarks, however, did not sit well with the government's top brass, who urged him to focus on his religious duties and leave politics to the state. Speaking at the funeral of Kingi Mwarua, father to Senate Speaker Amason Kingi in Kilifi County, they defended the developmental tours, saying they are meant to inform the public about the government's ongoing projects.
The government must inform the people of intended programs and projects, and therefore it is our duty to inform the country planned activities, to inform the country when those activities are being implemented, and to inform the country after those activities have been implemented.
Kama wewe ni bishop, chunga leni yako. Linda mioyo yetu. Kwa sababu sometimes it's very difficult when you rattle people not to answer you back.
Kuita serikali kama advertising agency ni kupotosha wananchi. Hata kule Amerikani lazima Trump aeleze watu wake anataka kufanya nini.
How I wish that we can shelve all this advertisement and noise and insulting and demeaning statements and start construction, appreciating one another, appreciating contribution, appreciating the values, the expertise, and bring all that together. There is nothing in Kenya we can't do and build.
Kamau Mwangi, Citizen TV.
Days after President Ruto issued a directive that communities living along the Northern Corridor will be given national identity cards without extra vetting, the head of state now says he is unapologetic for making such a directive, adding he is a man on a mission to promote equity among Kenyans. The president, who spoke on Friday during a funeral ceremony for Mzee Kingi Mwarua, father of Senate Speaker Amason Kingi, added that no amount of criticism will make him rescind his decision. Crispin Otieno has the details.
The funeral ceremony of Mzee Kingi Mwarua, father of Senate Speaker Amason Kingi, in Hadu Kamale. Leaders across political divide gathered to give their last respect to the deceased. President Ruto used the platform to assure communities living along the country's borders that the directive to abolish extra ID vetting will stand. The president took a swipe at his critics, saying he was unapologetic for his numerous undertakings during the visits to various parts of the country, and adding that he was determined to promote equity among all Kenyans.
And I want to say I am committed, I am unapologetic about making sure that there is equity in the Republic of Kenya. Tutashirikiana, tutafanya bidii kuhakikisha ya kwamba kuna usawa katika taifa hii.
How do you deny? Yani wakataa vipi mwenzako, mtoto wa mwenzako aweze kupata kitambulisho kama vile wewe unavyopata kitambulisho? Kipi kilichokufanya wewe ukawa ni Mkenya zaidi kuliko yule mwingine?
Ukitaja vijiji ambazo zimewekwa stima, hiyo mheshimiwa Kingi anasema Michael, watu wanaona mzaha sababu labda wao kwao wana hiyo stima.
Ruto, in addition, vowed to work with all leaders to make all Kenyans, irrespective of their political affiliations, enhance development and infrastructure.
Mambo ya vetting ambayo watu wa Kilifi hii walikuwa wanahangaishwa nayo na Wakenya wengine tumefutilia mbali, ili Wakenya wa Kilifi wanapotafuta vitambulisho wapate vitambulisho vile Wakenya wengine wanapata.
Critics, who include some opposition and government leaders, have been faulting the president's executive directive, saying the move will make the border in the north more porous, making the region susceptible to Al-Shabaab infiltration and putting the country's security at serious risk. Leaders who were in attendance mourned the late Mzee Kingi Mwarua as an astute leader who promoted morals among his children and his community.
Ule upendo mkubwa alikuwa nao juu ya familia yake kubwa, japo kubwa. Mtakaa nyumbani, mnajiangalia kwa sura, manake
kitega uchumi chake kikubwa ilikuwa ni shamba.
Marua Secondary School. Crispin Otieno, Citizen TV.
All right, just an update for those who may be unaware, but there is a fire at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport on the fields adjacent to the runway. And we have seen fire services on site, and we expect a statement from the Kenya Airports Authority and the Ministry on Transport on the cause of the fire. Those are the pictures on your screen. We've also seen planes come in to land, and so wait to see how that situation develops, but we do have our cameraman Eric Sinta on site. The fire is visible from the eastern bypass. We take a break, but on the other side, among other stories, we have an interview with the Murang'a County Governor, Irungu Kang'ata, and he'll be speaking on their mobile dialysis truck, bringing services treatment closer to the people, as well as how the model works, a public-private partnership, so do stay tuned.
Inua Jamii is now closer, faster and easier for all beneficiaries. Inua Jamii payments are now accessible via mobile money, ensuring quicker and more convenient transactions. It's easy. All beneficiaries need an active M-Pesa number. Just simply register today at any Safaricom shop or M-Pesa agent for only 100 shillings. Inua Jamii is a government cash transfer program supporting registered and eligible persons 70 plus, households with orphans and vulnerable children, and persons with severe disabilities, helping them lead a dignified life.
Sometimes I need a fragrance to keep me calm, stays fresh in the heat and feels elegant into the night, lasting longer than expensive perfumes. New Downy, lavender calm, sunrise fresh and sweet elegance, freshness that inspires confidence.
Treat your loved one to a magical Valentine's escape from February 12th to 17th, 2025. Experience stunning views at Dubai Frame, visit Dubai Creek Harbour, explore Miracle Garden, enjoy a desert safari and Marina Dao cruise with dinner, and a romantic Valentine's dinner at Al Dawar Revolving Restaurant. This unforgettable getaway, including visa, starts at $1,120 per person sharing. Book now. Lipa Pole Pole. Visit viewtravel.com, call or WhatsApp 0703 254 254. View Travel. Dream. Explore. Discover.
Great yummy taste, gotta hack it. I spread bread, pate nguvu, gotta pack it. Napaka nyweki design ya mokoro. Blue Panda, Juni natural cocoa. 5 vitamins, una grow plus ni tam na ni One by one, tuna flow with the energy. Dance to the beat, feel the adrenaline. Vibes ni polite. Step into the motion. Tuna hack snack na ki blue band choco for your growth. Juni
kote nchini, mbele tuendelee, mbele Kenya twende mbele,
Kenya twende mbele. NCBA, go for it.
Pata Data Double Double. Safaricom is turning 25 years. To celebrate this milestone, Safaricom is offering Data Double Double, a delight that will give customers free data. Get twice the bundle when you buy a data package. That means double the streaming, double the browsing, and double the connection. Now you can watch more football matches, binge watch more series, and stay connected like never before. Simply dial *544# or through My Safaricom app to grab your Double Double offer now.
every spoonful of Delamere real fruit yogurt.
Africa, a land of unforgiving extremes, where one beast makes its commanding presence felt. Unfazed by this dramatic vastness, this colossal marvel is the symbol of dominance. It is ready to take on any terrain effortlessly, presenting the UD Trucks Questa, going the extra mile.
Umpende mke wako, umprotect. Na kama hutafanya hayo, mke wako hatakupenda kabisa.
Juana is in love with me.
How about you, Gabriel? Do you have feelings for Juana?
I've already asked Paula for a divorce.
Sour petroleum jelly repairs dry skin like no other. Easy to spread and non-sticky like no other. Great quality product from Pwani Oil.
A day after the Rural and Urban Private Hospitals Association of Kenya announced suspension of services under the Social Health Authority, SHA, from Monday next week, the faith-based organizations have added their voice to the growing challenges under the medical scheme. And Nyeri Archbishop Anthony Muheria confirmed that SHA has myriad challenges bedeviling it. And as you'll hear now from Emily Chebet, Catholic-owned hospitals alone are owed 2.5 billion shillings by government from the defunct NHIF and the new scheme.
As the clock ticks towards Monday, when private hospitals in Kenya are expected to suspend medical services under the Social Health Authority, the challenges facing the medical scheme seem endless and the complaints are getting louder. Medical facilities run by the Catholic Church have reportedly borne the brunt of a dysfunctional system.
In spite of the tremendous efforts we are trying to make to improve the health service delivery all over, and in this hospital in particular, we still continue very constrained by the reimbursements and payments from our NHIF that is now defunct, and from the SHA, which are supposed to be supporting us.
According to Archbishop Muheria, the government owes Catholic-owned hospitals 2.5 billion. Debts accrued from the defunct NHIF and under the new scheme where claims portal in many instances do not work. Muheria was launching a new outpatient and accident emergency center wing at Consolata Mathari Hospital in Nyeri said the hospital was leading in debt owed by government.
Unfortunately, the systems are still not working. The hospital is not receiving these reimbursements in time, and this we've been for the last 4 years. We try, we cry, we appeal, we plead. Sometimes they say that we are complaining too much or that we exaggerate.
The Catholic bishop said other faith-based hospitals have been affected in a big way because they depend on claims for daily survival in the facilities. Health Cabinet Secretary Deborah Barasa, who was in Samburu County, acknowledged the challenges raised by hospitals, saying the ministry has a new server system that will support big data.
System challenges. This is not new. Systems do have challenges, and even when you look at the best systems in the world, NHS, waiting time is always a challenge. System interruption can occur.
And even as patients who depend on private hospitals remain in panic mode, the CS did not give a clear strategy on how to end the looming crisis.
I believe that the PS for medical services also address the concerns and the grievances by the RUFA team, critical to them being NHIF debt, of which we are sitting as a ministry to review and see how we can have a plan so that we can gradually, pay off the debt.
Thousands of patients will be affected by RUFA's suspension if nothing is done by Monday. Emily Chebet, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
As promised, we have an update on the fire at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. The Kenya Airports Authority has released a statement. I'll read it for you now. It reads, the Kenya Airports Authority is actively managing a fire incident currently affecting a section of the grassland surrounding Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. A coordinated response team, including the KAA Airport Rescue and Firefighting Service, the Kenya Defence Forces, and Nairobi County Fire Unit is working diligently to contain the situation. KAA assures the public that the fire is confined to non-operational grassland areas and has not impacted any critical infrastructure or operational zones of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. All airport activities, including flight schedules, passenger processing and cargo handling, remain fully operational and unaffected. The authority will provide further updates as more information becomes available. We also have an update from Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja, and he states that firefighters and other emergency crews are at the scene and that the Nairobi County fire trucks have helped KAA emergency crews contain the blaze. So we have a statement there from the Kenya Airports Authority as well as from Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja. I'm curious how that smoke affects visibility. European Union election observers have decried delays in the appointment of independent electoral and boundaries commissioners, which they say has compromised overall preparations for the 2027 elections. The observers say adequate funding is needed to have proper functioning of IEBC and smooth elections come 2027. Led by their chairperson, Ivan Stefanek, the observers said they will be assessing progress made in the election reform process and implementation status of the recommendations.
We came here basically to observe the implementation of recommendations from 22. There are 21 recommendations. 11 of them, they required legal change, 10 of them only administrative changes. Currently, we are in mid of electoral cycle, so we would like to emphasize the necessity to implement those recommendations in order to have peaceful and transparent elections in 2027. The most important priority of the recommendations is to appoint chairperson of IEBC and also to secure funding of these very important institutions.
Tensions between Kenya's President William Ruto and the General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan-led government of Sudan show no signs of easing. Sudan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has rejected the defense mounted by Foreign Affairs Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi for hosting the Rapid Support Forces, RSF, in Nairobi as they seek to establish a parallel government. The Sudanese government making the following response. Let's take a look. There we go. This hostile and irresponsible move cannot be justified, referring to the previous hosting of the Machakos negotiations, as these were between the government of Sudan and the Sudan People's Liberation Movement in South Sudan under the auspices of IGAD and notable international sponsorships. The statement continues to read that the government of Sudan has sought through diplomatic communication to change their stance without success. It is unfortunate that the Kenyan president has placed his personal and commercial interests above the historical relations between the two brotherly countries. In an earlier statement, they had stated that hosting leaders of the terrorist RSF militia and allowing them to conduct political and propaganda activities while they continue to perpetrate genocide, massacre civilians on an ethnic basis, attack IDP camps and commit acts of rape constitutes an endorsement of and complicity in these heinous crimes. Staying with matters Sudan, international justice experts have called for the advancement of accountability for international crimes committed in Sudan. Close to 2 years since conflict broke out between the Sudanese armed forces and the Rapid Support Forces, a UN fact-finding mission has established widespread crimes against humanity and atrocities committed against innocent civilians. The experts who met in Nairobi recommended the expansion of the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court in Sudan as part of efforts to bolster its national justice systems. Safina Chinguma has that report.
Since the war erupted in mid-April 2023 in Sudan, the situation has escalated, leading to the worst humanitarian crisis. Millions have been displaced, with 3.3 million refugees fleeing to neighboring countries. Speaking during an international justice symposium in Nairobi, the former Tanzanian Chief Justice Mohamed Chande Othman, who chairs the Independent International Fact-Finding Mission for the United Nations in Sudan, established the impact of a series of attacks directed at the civilian population.
Key parties to the conflict, which is the Sudan Armed Forces and the Rapid Support Forces and their allied militia or armed groups, were responsible for the commission of what may amount to international crimes. And atrocities continue to be committed, including widespread sexual and gender-based violence, arbitrary arrest and detention, violence to life.
The mission has made several recommendations to end human suffering in Sudan.
First recommendation was protection of civilians by the establishment of an international protection force. For the conflict to stop in Sudan, the flow of arms must stop.
Experts also want the UN Security Council to extend the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court beyond Darfur as part of efforts to advance the justice system.
You cannot have a dissected accountability, one accountability for Darfur in relation to the events since April 2023 and another accountability for the rest of Sudan. There is a lot of interconnectivity there, the perpetration, the patterns of the violence.
It is about documenting the crimes now while the war is ongoing, building cases, and get the different accountability mechanisms at our disposal, which is national justice, plus for sure the International Criminal Court, the fact-finding missions. And all these mechanisms need to be used to address the accountability issues in Sudan.
Justice Isaac Linaola of the Supreme Court of Kenya, using the platform to commend Kenya for making significant strides in advancing the rule of law through the baby Samantha Pendo case, a 6-month-old baby who was brutally killed, allegedly by the police, at the height of the 2017 general election. While expressing concern about the long journey of seeking accountability that took almost 7 years, Justice Linaola commended the move to charge 12 police officers under the International Crimes Act, which is domesticated from the Rome Statute. The case, Linaola said, sets a landmark precedent across Africa.
Is this a good test case for the prosecutor here, for the judge hearing the case, for the defense, to bring to the fore the applicability of the International Crimes Act?
The forum provided an opportunity to discuss justice efforts during armed conflict and explore practical approaches to advancing accountability for international crimes in the continent. Safin Acheng Omar, Citizen TV.
Safina Chinguma speaking to Tanzania's former Chief Justice Mohamed Chande there. President William Ruto's aide Farouk Kibet joined leaders from Western Kenya in paying tribute to the late Malava MP Malulu Injendi, and that was during a special mass at his home in Malava. They remembered Injendi as a dedicated public servant who selflessly served his community. Farouk Kibet also urged Kenyans to enroll in the newly introduced SHA scheme, which he says helped cover the late MP's medical expenses, easing the financial burden on his family. Meanwhile, Likuyani Member of Parliament Innocent Mugabe praised the National Government Administration Officers Bill, noting its potential to place village elders on the government payroll. Malulu Njende's burial is set for March the 1st, 2025 at his rural home, with President William Ruto and other leaders expected to attend.
Kiongozi ambaye mimi mwenyewe binafsi nilikuwa namuombea Moses siku moja asimame hii boma yake akiwa governor wa Kakamega County. Sasa watu ya Malava, mimi natoa hakikisho kwamba yale Moses ameanzisha haitakufa, itaendelea mbele.
We take a break on a Friday night, but on the other side, as promised, we sit down with the Murang'a governor and his partners where a mobile dialysis truck is concerned. More details await you on the other side of this break.
Buroti maguta, keja kwa mtaa mambo fiti. Nafungua bahasha wao nikismile, mambo ni murwa, kop imesotie keda, biza maplot, nikasitu. Kaniflota mboka, reti koto, nikasitu.
With just a pay slip, get a mobile loan of up to 500,000 shillings or an unsecured loan of up to 9 million shillings. Visit a Cooperative Bank branch today. Cooperative Bank, we are you.
Roto Tanks. Roto Tanks. Built like a tank.
Lakini vile hii ekonomi imetufinya, ilinibidi kubadilisha sabuni nikatumia ingine rahisi. Bala, ilibidi nioshe kila kitu mara mbili. Sikuwa na otherwise, nikarudia Ariel.
Ariel, usafi bora kwa mwosho mmoja tu.
Please can I have that and oh, thank you. Yeah.
Ukiwin, beshte yako in your local shop win too. Hii ni the Cadbury Big Win-Win. Nunua any two participating Cadbury products. Scan QR code ama WhatsApp hi kunominate beshte yako in your local shop. Stand a chance ya kushinda share yako in cash prizes plus more. A win for you is a win for all. T's and C's apply.
Stubborn stains, Classic Detergent Powder inakuja na suluhisho rahisi. Inatoa uchafu kwa urahisi, gentle kwa mikono na unaipata kwa bei nafuu. Usiwachwe nyuma. Choose Classic. Ng'ara na Classic.
Since 2012, Al Khair Foundation has provided Ramadan food packs to more than 530,000 fasting Muslims in need across Kenya.
As you fast, you get to remember those who struggle to find a basic meal to break their fast.
Donate today and make a difference.
One campus, 3 locations. Welcome to the future of healthcare education. This is Imperial College of Medical and Health Sciences. Introducing our Nakuru campus. The next generation of healthcare professionals is secure with us, offering you education grounded in theory but built on real-world application. March 2025 intake is now open. Please call us on 0719 223 223. Imperial College of Medical and Health Sciences. Committed to professional excellence.
Starting this Sunday at 10 p.m. A mysterious crime.
The court sentence for both crimes, 45 years and 1 day in prison.
And one injustice.
I'll work until I can prove that Lorena Martinez is innocent.
Are the guards having dinner? Everything is going to go as planned. Told you these aren't the keys. Come on. Don't move a muscle.
Fugitive Seeking Justice. Starting this Sunday at 10 p.m.
Small madam.
Please stop calling me small madam.
Okay, big madam.
Just call me by my name.
Flow.
Acha niseme nitoke. Nikiwatch Bambika, my opinion as a youth is hard. Because this is where my faith and my everyday life intersect. Bambika tuna empower, tuna inspire, na tuna entertain. Kingine mimi najivunia zaidi yako baba.
You got me where you got me, Papa. You got me where you got me.
I got you. Bambika covers a wide range of topics. Na pia masalamu.
From city to city, county to county, as Bambika, we start our 2025 high school tours.
Tunaanza na county number 14, Embu County, aka the land of opportunities.
So from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., Bambika comes to you live from...
Bambika from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Citizen TV.
All right, as promised, we are joined by the Murang'a Governor, Irungu Kang'ata, no stranger to the Citizen Studios. We also have with us the lovely Naomi Wanari, not Naomi. She's the founder, Benacare, and we also have a nephrologist in studio, Dr. James Kahura. Good to have all three of you here. So what we are discussing today is the launch of a mobile dialysis truck. Perhaps, Governor, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, Murang'a County has a huge burden of persons with non-communicable diseases like hypertension, diabetes, and by virtue of being fairly a county with many elderly persons. And it reaches a stage where they get complication of the kidney. Some of them are in remote places. And therefore, we thought of getting into a partnership where we were able to acquire, through the support of Benacare, a mobile truck fitted with dialysis that will be moving from one health center to another health center, and therefore patients in the remote places of Murang'a, they don't have to take long routes or fare to reach the medical care.
Currently, in what health centers is this service provided?
Okay, Murang'a has 3 regions basically. So the people in Keharu, Kangema, Mathioya region can go to Murang'a Level 5 Hospital, which we have added new dialysis machines. There used to be 4, they are now 12. We have established a second dialysis center at a place called Kegumo to serve the people of Maragua and Kegumo. Now this new truck now will basically serve health centers in the lower part of Murang'a and also Gatanga and Kandara region.
Okay. Naum, how did this partnership come about? Because my understanding is that it is a public-private partnership.
Exactly. Thank you so much. So we had, in 2023, conducted a research into the modalities available for the treatment of chronic kidney disease in Murang'a County, together with Jomo Kenyatta University and Dr. Kahura. And we established that there was a burden of accessibility of dialysis services. And then the researchers came up with a recommendation that we actually needed to improve accessibility of dialysis services. And then so we partnered with the county, and this is the result.
All right. Yeah. Doctor, are you involved in this research?
Yes, I am. I was involved. Yeah, we did. We conducted a survey in Murang'a, looking at the basically mapping out where patients come from, and we concluded that some patients do travel long distances to access dialysis, and that's how we came up with this idea of coming up with a mobile truck. We realized this distance covered contributed significantly to mortality and other morbidities in patients who have renal failure. And that's why we did this.
Okay. Yeah. So, Governor, is it just the one truck? Are you planning to expand? What's the plan moving forward?
Well, we're happy to report now dialysis services in Murang'a, they are fairly accessible because now, as I've said, in Murang'a Level 5 hospitals, we now have more machines. For the first time, a rural facility called Kegumo Hospital has about 4 or 5 machines. And now we are adding a new set but now on track. And therefore, we think we are covered. But if need be, we'll definitely do more. Murang'a has been doing a lot of intervention in matters of healthcare. You know, we have that medical insurance card for the poor people, where we pay on behalf of those who can't afford the medical insurance for certain category of Murang'a people. We also have telemedicine and also other building new hospitals. We are not saying that we are 100% perfect, no way. It's a journey, but I think this is quite an important journey, particularly bringing dialysis services in a mobile manner. I think I would imagine it's the first one in the region.
Yeah. Is it, Naum, is it the first in the region?
It is the first in Kenya that we know, and arguably the first in Africa. This we will confirm, and we think it is going to actually revolutionize how healthcare is being provided, because for you to have very highly specialized clinical care in a track like dialysis, this opens up the mobile health in Africa, where we would see maybe a mobile chemo, mobile maybe ICU in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dr. Kahura, were you involved in the design of the truck? Basically, Naum, between the two of you, can tell us what was involved in the development of this truck, because dialysis is something that takes time. Yeah. How many people can you offer services at one go? You know, electricity connection, are you using solar panels? Perhaps you can give us a little bit more detail about this truck.
Yeah, what we did, we borrowed this from other countries which have done this before. The Odulair in America do offer mobile dialysis. Some parts of Australia also do offer mobile dialysis. And we did our search and came up with a model that we can adopt in our country, considering that the terrain in this country, the kind of patients that you handle. And basically what we came up with is a dialysis unit fitted on a truck. And by so doing, it means that we've been able to establish more than 3 dialysis brick and mortar kind of on a truck, which would be more expensive. But being on a truck that is mobile, it's like you've done 3 dialysis units, because you'll be visiting more than 3 health centers at any one particular week. And it's the level gold standard kind of a dialysis unit. We do have a water treatment plant inside there with very good water. We've done the assessments. We've got the best of the machines. We are going to be offering quality hemodialysis, what is offered in the best of the countries, what we call hemodiafiltration. And we are raring to go. Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. Perhaps, Governor, you know, what kind of impact are you looking for this to have? You know, do you have certain numbers in mind?
Yes, the numbers are many, but we will know them once we get people who come and register. But healthcare, we don't look from a numerical point of view. One life is as important as 10 lives. Having a situation where we lose even a single person of Murang'a because of the distance between home and a hospital, to us is bad. And therefore, to the extent, even if that machine will care for a single patient in Kirwara or in Gatora, in Gatanga, or even in Makuyu, in Maragua, to us is important. We have saved a life. Maybe it's a mother, it's a father, yeah, who has been saved. And I know this problem is quite acute. A lot of people of Murang'a are really getting kidney failures. And therefore, I think we have a moral duty to save each life and ensure we give better quality of healthcare to the people of Murang'a, and I would imagine every Kenyan citizen deserves that. All
right, Dr. Kahura, numbers-wise, quickly, what did your research show? How big is the gap?
It's huge. It's huge. It's humongous. Murang'a, being a county in the central Kenya, has a disproportionate burden of communicable diseases, hypertension and diabetes, and consequently an equal big number of patients with chronic kidney disease. And the numbers are huge. And dialysis is basically a stopgap. It's stopgap as you prepare those patients for possible kidney transplantation. But if you don't save their life when they need dialysis, then you not have them when you are doing kidney transplantation. On top of that, we hope to incorporate preventative strategies of screening So on that track, we are also going to be doing blood sugar, we'll be doing urinalysis and all that, and also possibly do the kidney function tests, which are very important. And going forward, we hope on improving on this track. Yes.
All right. Norm, the very last word as the founder of Benacare.
This is decentralizing healthcare. And with this mobile track, I think we are beating the cost matrix, because with one infrastructure, we are able to serve 3 areas of Murang'a County. And so I feel like this is the blueprint for mobile health in Africa, and I'm excited to see where this goes. But also, from what you asked about the fabrication, I would like to also state that this is made in Kenya by Juakali Artisans, by Containers Kenya, by Crown Healthcare, made in Kenya, and it's awesome.
All right, thank you very much. We have had in studio the Murang'a Governor, Irungu Kang'ata. He was here a couple of weeks back, school feeding, telemedicine, as he mentioned. Now, the new innovation has to do with mobile dialysis. We've also had in studio Naom Monari, who is the founder of Benacare, and we've also had a nephrologist in studio, Dr. Kahura James. Thank you very much for being here. We take a break, but Friday Night continues on the other side.
Ugali, chapati, mahamri unapatikana ndani ya Tuten.
People come to me and they say they get discomfort when they have ice cream. Can you imagine that? Avoiding having cold ice cream. Sensodyne gives you long-lasting protections against sensitivity. And people come in and they're like, oh, it works. I can have ice cream and I'm not in any discomfort. I recommend Sensodyne because it works. It's brilliant.
Ruiru Mabati Factory offers the best quality mabati at the most affordable prices. With over 10 years experience, our products have 15 years warranty and are kept certified. We manufacture box profile, Europe tile, Jenga tile, corrugated S profile, among others, in a wide variety of colors. Enjoy our free delivery in just 72 hours. To order, call us on 0111 050 700.
Fanya mambo uonyeshe who's boss here. Sikia mafan tunakuchia tukikuangalia. You can make it to the top, ushinde ligi pia. And she don't love it on top to be sincere.
MVP Nico ready to play.
After kiss, let a kiss, we can do it my way. It's a good day, Nikani payday. More no rush. Ready to play, to go. Ready to play, play. Ready to play, to go. Ready to play, play. Ready to play, to go. Ready to play, play. Ready to play, to go.
Ready to play.
Chama cha amani cha wanafunzi wa vyuo na taasisi za elimu ya juu Kenya, USPAC, kwa ushirikiano na chuo kikuu cha Garissa, kitafanya kumbukumbu ya miaka 10 ya USPAC pamoja na ibada ya ukumbusho ya miaka 10 tangu shambulio la kigaidi katika chuo kikuu cha Garissa kwa mbio za kilomita 10 zilizopewa jina Run for Peace Kenya, zitakazofanyika Aprili 6 siku ya Jumapili mwaka 2025 katika uwanja wa Nyayo, kaunti ya Nairobi. Mavazi yatakuwa meupe kuashiria amani.
Comrades, Run for Peace Kenya! Run for Peace Kenya!
Nyote mwakaribishwa.
Tumegola. 2024. Gen Z wanipeleka watu bio. Ubina show life. Nimeshika pesa kidogo, nikaweka Ibagaro. Watoto wamekuwa wakubwa. The only thing that has remained constant ni hii mabati.
kwa nyumba maridadi na mabati ya kudumu. Tumia Zinco Mabati. Zinco Mabati, where roofing meets perfection. Call 0758 222288. We deliver for free countrywide.
Santa Lucia, taste it to believe it.
When it comes to roofing, quality is key. At Kidani Mabati, we offer the best. Strong, durable, and built to last. Choose Kidani Prime for style, corrugated for a classic touch, Kidani Tile for elegance, or Box Profile for strength. Pay and pick in just 24 hours within Nairobi. Plus, enjoy free delivery straight to your site.
Call us on 0709 118 300.
O Kidani Mabati, boresha mjengo na Kidani Mabati.
This Sunday at International Christian Center, Nairobi.
Be present in this year, 2025. Be present in your marriage, in your relationships. Be present in your family. Be present in the ministry that God has entrusted you, in the work that you have.
From 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Citizen TV Gospel Sunday.
Ile siku ambayo nitaoa, will I enjoy my life? Will I have my fun? And I'm just imagining like if tuko na mtu ambaye Mumias kule ama in Kakamega ama in Western Kenya ambaye ati yeye ndiye anaamua chagueni huyu msichague huyu. Somebody like me could not have been elected.
Watch this story and more. Download the Citizen Digital app or visit www.citizendigital.com and find the Citizen Originals portal.
Kenya's #1 app, Citizen Digital.
Umpende mke wako, umprotect. Na kama hutafanya hayo, mke wako hatakupenda kabisa.
Juana is in love with me. How about you, Gabriel? Do you have feelings for Juana? I've already asked Paula for a divorce.
Sour Petroleum Jelly repairs dry skin like no other. Easy to spread and non-sticky like no other. Great quality product from Pwani Oil.
Stakeholders in the coffee sector are urging farmers to adopt modern farming practices to boost both production and consumption. At the opening of the African Coffee Trade Fair 2025, participants emphasized that adopting these modern practices alongside fostering a strong, mutually beneficial relationship between the coffee and livestock sectors is critical to the industry's long-term sustainability. The trade fair also serves as a platform to showcase Africa's finest coffee and the latest industry innovations. In recent years, coffee experts have seen significant growth, with volumes nearly doubling from 1,478 metric tons in December 2023 to 2,647 metric tons by December 2024. This surge has driven earnings up by 54%.
So that they are able to produce, and they are the same ones who are milling, they are the same ones who are marketing because they have their brokerage firm, and they are the same ones who are arranging deals on direct marketing. Then this forum where we are having the marketing, the buyers, creates a very good environment for people to create a relationship.
We are going organic in the sense that when the farmers adopt zero grazing, then they can use the manure from their farms to produce their coffee plants. so that we avoid over-reliance on inorganic fertilizers. And this works for us. It works well for the environment.
The Kenya Pipeline Company has commissioned a new pump station at Ngema, boosting fuel flow to Western Kenya from 330 cubic meters per hour to 510. The $10.9 million project is part of the second phase of KPC's Nairobi to Eldoret pipeline capacity upgrade, aimed at improving fuel supply in Eldoret, Nakuru and Kisumu, key distribution hubs for Kenya and the broader East African region.
This project, in a nutshell, is going to enable the flow rate of petroleum products to increase from 350,000 liters per hour to 510,000 liters per hour. And that has got very, very, very many advantages or benefits that it brings to us, first as Kenya Pipeline Company, but also to the economy.
This further cements our mission of transporting petroleum products to the region. It will improve the operational flexibility in our depots of Kisumu, Eldoret and Nakuru, and thereby reducing the number of trucks that goes all the way to Mombasa to get products. It's an improvement in terms of the flow of the product by over 69%, from 350,000 liters per hour to 510, and in the next 3 years, we'll again be upgrading to 757,000 liters per hour.
Equity Bank's leadership program, Alumni, has developed more than 40 intellectual properties which are currently in operation. The program, which boasts of over 415 alumni, showcased some of their solutions to the president of the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly, and that is Philemon Young. Speaking during the visit, President Young emphasized the importance of effort, resilience and imagination in shaping the future of Africa's youth. He urged young professionals to remain persistent in their ambitions and continue leveraging opportunities for growth. According to Equity Bank Strategy Director Brent Malahe, although the continent holds 17% of the global population, its share of the world's GDP remains at just 3%, an issue he says presents a great opportunity for the continent's youth.
The world is looking to diversify its value chains. I started off that Equity Group's Marshall Plan ultimately looks at developing value chains. The world is looking to reconfigure its value chains. Equity Group is positioning Africa to be on the table and to essentially de-risk investment.
About efforts and attitude, this is the only thing you control, nothing else. No matter how powerful you are, no matter how intelligent you are, all the other things, if you pretend you control them, you are wrong. You only control your attitude, control your efforts. Make the right efforts, have the right attitude. And I say to you young people, do not throw away your imagination. You are, in many ways, your imagination.